Good afternoon, everyone. So today we'll start Indian polity and governance, which is paper 3, General Study paper 2, where governance, constitution, polity, social justice, and interstate relation that we will deal. Okay, so it is different from earlier. Earlier it was only polity, Indian polity and constitution. Earlier only polity, constitution we need to read, but now focus is on governance. So first it is given governance, social justice, and interstate relation. So relation of Odisha with other state, that we call interstate relation. So this is the syllabus: governance, constitution, polity, interstate relation. So let's discuss the syllabus. First is Indian constitution. It is we detail discuss Indian constitution, historical development, evolution of the constitution, features, and in features we have preamble, FR, FD, DPSP, amendment feature, and various important provision, significant provision, important provision of constitution, and about basic structure. What is basic structure of the constitution? When the concept basic structure come, what is the importance of basic structure? Everything in detail. Okay, so this will help you both prelim and mains. In this way we will discuss everything. Second, functions and responsibility of union and state. Function of union, power, authority of union and state. Federal structure, federal. So in public administration we have discussed center state relation. So federal feature of this constitution and different type of federalism. For example, centralized federalism, bargaining federalism, cooperative federalism, competitive federalism. And now we are discussing about confrontational federalism and coercive federalism. So what is devolution of power, devolution, and devolution of finance, devolution of power and devolution of finance? So devolution means power and authority is giving to the lower level. For example, when we discuss devolution of power, so center, state, then PRI, devolution, finance, Central Finance Commission in 73rd Constitutional Amendment, uh, State Finance Commission, up to the local level, and what challenges it face. Separation of power between various organs, that means legislature, executive, judiciary, and dispute redressal mechanism. Dispute between various organ and how to redress them. This is one added feature: comparison of Indian constitution with that of other country. So Indian constitution compare with UK, USA, Japan, and other country. This is parliament, central legislator and state legislator, structure, how they function, how they carry out their business, what is the power and privilege of parliament and state legislature. Already it is part of Indian polity. Second, structure, organization, and functioning of executive and judiciary. So this is added. Executive means central executive. Central executive is consist of president, vice president, PM and council, and attorney general. Ministry and department. This is part of public administration. Ministry and department of the government. Pressure group, part of public administration, accountability and control. And formal and informal association and their role in polity. So what is the role of pressure group in governance? So here the concept of good governance also come. Role of pressure group in the process of governance. Representation of People's Act. This is important. Representation of People Act, Odisha Right to Public Service Act, and Odisha Lokayukt Act. This is added. Constitutional position, power, function, and responsibility of various constitutional body. So we have three type of body: constitutional body, non-constitutional body, and statutory body. And there are various constitutional body where people are appointed. So how they appointed, who appoint, what is their power, how they function, everything. Statutory, regulatory, and various quasi-judicial body. So, what is statutory body? Constitutional body, non-constitutional body, statutory body. What is regulatory body? In public administration, we have discussed about regulatory body, DGCA, IRDA, TRI, and quasi-judicial body like NHRC. They are not completely judicial, quasi-judicial body. So this syllabus is, it is a mix of polity and governance. So governance, we can say uh, polity plus public administration. So weightage of public administration is there here. Yes. Important aspect of governance: transparency, accountability, public administration. E-governance, application of e-governance, model, success, what are the limitation and potential. Here you need to write what step both central government and Odisha government take to ensure transparency in governance, enforce accountability. Here second ARC also come. Here Mo Sarkar and 5T also come. And what are the limitations and what are the potential. Citizen charter, again public administration come. Citizen charter, transparency and accountability, public administration, and institutional and other measures. So this is public administration. This is role of central and state civil service in democracy. So yes, state civil service, be it Odisha administrative service, police service, finance service, what role they play in a democracy. Panchayati Raj institution in Odisha. Odisha and its neighborhood relation. Yes, this is important. This is current affair, we can say. Odisha's relation with neighboring state, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Andhra Pradesh. And relationship on many dimension, not only a particular dimension. Nowadays, you think that Odisha and its neighboring relation, Chhattisgarh, water dispute. No, this is not related only water dispute, land dispute, and recent Naxal problem. That is also because the Naxals are staying in the bordering area, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. That is also a major issue. So the cooperation between Odisha, Andhra Pradesh or Odisha, Chhattisgarh is very essential or very necessary to make sure that the left-wing Naxalism root out. So that is also one aspect. Get it? Yes. So design neighborhood relation important. Next, social justice part, government policies. So it is again public administration policy formulation. What is public policy? For whom public policy is formulated? What type of public policy we need? Intervention for development in various sector. Yes. So what role policy play to intervene development in various sectors, and what are the limitation they face, issue arising out of their designing and implementation in India and Odisha. So it is all about public policy, role of public policy for various section of society, what are the limitation public policy face, everything. Development process and development industry, role of MSME and women in SSG. So in Odisha, Mission Shakti. You have to write about Mission Shakti in Odisha. Yes, this is again public administration come welfare administration. Welfare scheme for vulnerable section and population by the state and performance of this scheme. Mechanism, law, institution and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment of this vulnerable section. So in public administration paper 2, we have discussed welfare administration. That is it. Welfare administration. Issues relating to development and management of social sector service relating to health, education, human resource in India and Odisha. So here we need to discuss about health, education and human resource development. in Odisha and India. Poverty and hunger sustainable development goal. Here sustainable development goal, again what here come we can call about it is global constitutionalism or role of United Nations, and in India Niti Aayog play a great role in fulfilling the sustainable development goal. Getting it? So this is the complete syllabus, and inside it many things are there. That means if you elaborate it, it again 2 3 page become. So we will take everything, and we also discuss the last 8 year UPSC mains question. So UPSC mains question last 8 year, you will get 10 tests of this. So you will completely prepare before mains. So you can attend all question as this is first time, you will appear first time. So we discuss every unit in such a manner that you will face no problem. So let's discuss from the first Indian Constitution. Let only discuss Indian Constitution. After that, we will go historical underpinning, evolution, feature. So everything you will take is independent discussion. Historical development, evolution of the Constitution, features of the Constitution, amendment to the Constitution, what is basic structure, everything. So this first, it will take itself 4 5 class. Okay, let's start Indian Constitution. So you all know when we discuss about Constitution, we say it is a rule book. Very basic definition of Indian Constitution or any constitution. We can call it as a rule book. Rule book. It is a document. And in this document, it is a document. People have faith. People have faith in it. That is important. So it is not just any other document, it is a document where people have faith in it. This is important. Otherwise, the document has no value. So people have faith in it. It has legal sanctity. It holds aspiration of citizen. Oh, constitution. It holds aspiration of citizen. Constitution. It regulates society. Constitution regulates society. It also regulate law of society. Regulate law of society. So this is constitution. Hello. So it holds the aspiration of people, legal sanctity. People have faith in it. It regulates the society. It regulates law of the society. We can call it regulate government of state or government of nation. It also regulate government of nation. And a particular we can call form of government. For example, uh, Constitution Constitution determine the way or the type of government in a particular nation. Constitution determine the way, the type of government in particular country. Hello. For example, uh, India, we have democratic government. Democratic government. India, we have republic. So this is Indian constitution. It determined that we are a democratic government, we are a republic, and we are a prime ministerial form of government. Same UK. UK constitution decided it is a constitutional monarchy. Hello, constitutional monarchy. That means uh, the head of the state is not elected; it is hereditary. USA, it is democracy, presidential form. USSR, it is communist type. So every nation, the constitution determine what type of state it is. Understand in this way. This is definition of constitution. So if we discuss function of constitution. Okay, so now we knew that these are the definition of the constitution. Again, we should know what type of function a particular constitution perform. Yes, we can say it reflect ideology of a nation. Okay, it reflect ideology of a nation. Understand ideology. Already I have told you ideology is a democracy, constitutional monarchy, or any other ideology. What type of ideology a nation promote? It is determined by the constitution. Expression of basic law of nation. Basic law, for example, in India, I can say right to life, freedom of speech. I can say, so you can say it is expression of basic law of the nation. Right to life है कि freedom of speech है provide organizational framework, uh, organizational framework for government. What is organizational framework? For example, in India, we can say Indian government, we have three organ: legislature, executive, judiciary. So how these three organ function? This we can call organizational framework of government. How these three organ function? Legislator, it what we already know, it formulate policy, formulate law, executive implement policy, implement law, and judiciary interpret policy and law. It provide in written authority and responsibility of legislator, executive, judiciary. What are the interrelationship between them? What are the interrelationship between legislature, executive, and judiciary? Already division is there. They have their separate authority, separate responsibility. But yes, there is a interrelation. For example, judiciary monitor not directly legislature or executive, but any law formulated by legislature, executive. Judiciary have power like judicial review, judicial activism. Executive, executive not only implement policy, also formulate policy, formulate law. So in dichotomy, we have discussed difference between polity and administration relation. So now both working in a coordinate manner. So organizational framework for government. Level or type of government. For example, is it a unitary state? Is it a federal state? Or is it a quasi-federal state like India? Quasi-federal state. So in federal state, we have center, state. In India, we have center, state, local authority, PRI. Power of national government, power of state government. In unitary feature, there is only a center, no state. So yes, the constitution of France, UK, Germany, mostly European country, they promote a unitary type of government. Canada, India, quasi-federal, USA federal. Amendment provision. What is this? Amendment means you all know change, alteration. It is change to the constitution. So change to the constitution. So constitution determine if it is easy to change, easy, or it is very difficult to change the constitution. For example, USA only 10 times. USA it is very difficult to amend. Amend. India we have both. It is both easy and difficult to amend. For example, we have both Simple feature to amendment, simple majority, amendment in simple majority, which we can call the flexible feature of the constitution. And there are some feature that is very difficult to amendment, what we call rigid feature of the constitution. So we have both rigid and flexible feature of constitution. So this is function of the constitution, we can say. After that, another idea related to constitution, that is many times we have discussed in class, you also have heard the concept constitutionalism. Many times you have already heard this word constitutionalism. From constitution, this word is constitutionalism. So what is constitutionalism? Listen, already we knew that constitution is a rule book, law book, and the country govern according to the rule book. The country govern according to the rule book. Already we knew. So then what is constitutionalism? So we can call this as constitutionalism that means country follow constitution. Country follow the constitution. Country run according to the constitution. What we call constitutionalism. Hello. When country run according to the constitution, we can call, yes, in India, for example, India, if I say in India we have constitutionalism. That means what? Governance according to constitution. So what is the benefit of it? If we can say constitutionalism is constitution, what is it? It is a defense mechanism state power. Constitution check arbitrary nature of state. It's a defense mechanism above state power. Bujo, defense mechanism. State ro power. State means three organ of government. So defense mechanism. State power ro against a defense mechanism. And this defense mechanism is for whom? Citizen. The defense mechanism is for citizen. And it check the arbitrary nature of the state. That means state cannot misuse its power and authority. State cannot misuse its power and authority. The rulers, the government stay within its jurisdiction. Government stay within its government stay within its jurisdiction. It is constitutionalism. Hello. So everyone clear what is constitutionalism? बुझो. The government function under a set of law. The government function according to the constitution, according to the rule, whatever mentioned. For example, Indian constitution, basic thing, preamble, FR, DPSP. So every word of preamble should be followed. The fundamental rights should be given to the citizen, and the government try to implement directive principle of state policy. There is a constitutional body, for example, appointment to election commission, UPSC, CAG. The government should follow the proper method to appoint election commission member, UPSC member, CAG member. This is constitutionalism. If government divert, if government not function according to the preamble, if citizens are not getting their fundamental right, if constitutional body like election commission, UPSC and CAG, the appointment is not according to the mention in constitution, we can say constitutionalism is missing in India. So what is the outcome? We can say constitutionalism is limited government. Here, constitutionalism is limited government. It is rule of law and it is against arbitrary discharge of power. Limited government. So here understand one word, global global constitutionalism. What is that? What is global constitutionalism? UN. When all UN member nations abide by the law formulated by United Nations, we can call it global constitutionalism. The concept of sustainable development goal, which is promoted by UN and it is adopted by India. So India tries best to implement all sustainable development goal by 2035. Why? Because global constitutionalism, every nation bound by the rules and law of the UN. So be it in the matter of human right, refugee, climate change. So the member nation are bound to follow the rules set by whom? All these things. Rules set by UN related to human right, related to refugee, related to climate change. So we can call this global constitutionalism. Democratic way of governance. Governance according to the Indian constitution. Not authoritarian, not arbitrary. Not arbitrary nature of government. So every nation of the country is follow. For example, some country like China and North Korea, USSR, they are not abiding by the UN mandate. So you can call we can call the concept of global constitutionalism is under threat. There is a theorist you already knew him, Casey Ware. Why is famous? Tell me why Casey Ware is famous. He said Indian constitution is quasi federal in nature. Yes, you were quasi-federal in nature according on the basis of Canadian federalism, Canada. So Casey Ware say, according to SU Ware, constitutionalism means Casey Ware, quasi-federal, Casey Ware. He said constitutionalism means, what is constitutionalism? Division of power between various organ of government. Division of power between various organ of government. No dictatorship, no dictatorship. Individual have or individual must enjoy their freedom with least constraint. With least constraint, individual must enjoy their freedom. Uh, Plural authority, plurality in authority. Authority with multiple people, plural authority, plurality of authority, and not individual centric. Not individual centric, plurality in authority. Okay, it is according to Casey Ware. So as I say that we can say constitutionalism is found in India or constitutionalism is there in India due to this following things. If we found that rule of law is in India, we can say constitutionalism found in India. So constitutionalism in India, we have written constitution. So the written constitution promote that in India we have constitutionalism. written constitution. Second, responsible government. We have prime ministerial form of government, prime ministerial form of government. And why it is responsible government? Because the PM and council who are real government, they are responsible to parliament or legislator. So we call it responsible government. The PM and council, they are responsible to the parliament in general and Lok Sabha to the particular. Responsible government. Parliamentary democracy. Parliamentary democracy. Parliament form of democracy. So we have parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and member are elected to it, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, directly, indirectly. So rule of law. What is rule of law? Very simple thing. Law is primary. Rule is primary. Means law is primary and law is ruling. Not an individual is ruling. Many times I use this term, rule of law. So in India, not Prime Minister Modi is ruling. In Odisha, not Chief Minister Navin Patnaik ruling. Who rule? Law. Law means what is mentioned in Constitution. Rule of law. That means law is ruling, not any individual. So that law, what is mentioned in the Constitution. I think it is very clear. So what is the background of rule of law? Means who is primary, who is ruling, not any individual, not any king, not any prime minister, not any chief minister. It is the law. Who is this written in the Constitution is ruling the nation. Just imagine. Law which is mentioned in the Constitution, it is ruling India. And we are abide by the law because we have faith on it. So we follow the law. So law is ruling. So it is constitutionalism. So constitution is ruling India. Next, fundamental right. So why fundamental right is important? Because fundamental right, it is, we can call it, take arbitrary nature of state. Fundamental right check the arbitrary nature of state. It empower citizen. It check arbitrary nature of state. It result into empowerment of citizen. This is fundamental right. Part 3 of the Constitution, 14 to 35, 12 to 30, 12 to 35, actually 14 to 32. Separation of power between legislature, executive, judiciary. Separation of power between legislature, executive and judiciary, and check and balance between them. There is check and balance. All we discuss while we discuss the power of legislature, executive, judiciary, how they are check and balance each other, separation of power, flexibility of Indian Constitution. It is flexible, it can amend under Article 368. Simple majority, special majority, and special majority plus majority of state legislative assembly, simple majority to amend federal feature of the constitution. Basic structure. Basic structure you all know. These are framework. These are framework upon which the constitution is based. Basic, most important framework of the constitution we call basic structure. So this basic structure are like we can call these are pillar of a home. When you build a house, you made pillar, okay, and based on the pillar you formulate a house, and there you give bricks. So these are only bricks and these are pillar. So the pillar we can call our basic structure. If you break those pillar, the house crumble. If you change this feature, for example, you change it this type of and you made something else, no problem. If you change, if you, it's okay, but no, you cannot touch this. These are basic structure, and this concept of basic structure has started after Keswanand Bharti case. Keswanand Bharti versus the state of India, and the concept of basic structure started, and it is only the judiciary who can state that this is basic structure and this is not, and from time to time it is defined, it is not fixed. Federal form of government. Federal form, that is not unitary. We have both central or union government and state or federal or federating unit. So this is federal form of government, central and state. We are not a unitary country, federal feature. Independent judiciary and Independent judiciary, you all know judiciary is independent. That means judiciary is not under legislator or executive. Legislator or executive cannot control it. That is independent judiciary. And judicial review. Okay, just what is judicial review? Anything that review by judiciary, any law, for example, law by parliament. This law by parliament, it can review, analyzed by judiciary. Analyzed by judiciary, it is known as judicial review. And the concept of judicial review is come from USA. In USA, what is there? What is promoted? The concept of due process of law. Due process of law. That means law is evolved. USA due process of law and not USA due process of law and not procedure established by law like UK. And in India, we have both due process of law and procedure established by law. So Indian Constitution has arrived at a middle course between concept of due process of law and procedure established by law. So due process of law. देखो USA, in USA we have due process of law. So what happened in this due process of law? Supremacy of judiciary. Supremacy of judiciary or judicial supremacy. So judiciary can interpret law order by judiciary review law of legislator and executive. Judiciary review law formulated by legislator and executive. And if judiciary found this law is against the constitution, against the ethos of the constitution, judiciary declare it null and void under judicial review. One example, NJSC, National Judicial Appointment Council. It was rejected by judiciary because judiciary found NJSC violate basic structure of Indian Constitution. What is the basic structure? Independent judiciary. Independent judiciary, which is the basic structure, that is violated by NJSC judiciary field. So judiciary reject it, declare it null and void. So this we can call the concept of judicial review, which is in India, P.N. Bhagwati, Justice Bhagwati. We can call he is a pioneer, and from this judicial review come judicial activism and PIL. But the source is the main aspect is judicial review. Okay. Now we have discussed constitutionalism in India, and just remember one case. Rameswar Prasad versus Union of India. Rameswar Prasad versus Union of India. The concept of constitutionalism. The notion of constitutionalism has established. Rameswar Prasad versus Union of India. That yes, constitutionalism. The notion, the concept of constitutionalism has established. ହେଲା ରାମେଶ୍ୱର ପ୍ରସାଦ versus Union of India case. ମନେ ରଖିଥିବ ଯଦି କେବେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ ଆସେ on which famous case the idea of constitutionalism is established in India, Rameswar Prasad. There is another case, এটা ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିଛ, IR Koilo versus State of Tamil Nadu. IR Koilo case versus State of Tamil Nadu. In this, High Court said, High Court, the Tamil Nadu High Court, it established High Court ki Supreme Court ছাড়া what is established? That constitutionalism is a legal principle. The legality of constitutionalism is established in IR Koilo versus State of Tamil Nadu. And it said that democratic principle of governance should remain established. It always established democratic principle. Constitutionalism, democratic principles should always establish. And state should exercise control. State should exercise control while exercise while execute its power. State should exercise control while execute its power. Okay, so this is definition of constitution. What is constitution? What is constitutionalism? And in India, constitutionalism is there due to this aspect, two cases. And tomorrow we discuss next what we discuss. Historical underpinnings, that is constitutional development. Constitutional development in India since 1773 to 1947. 1773 to 1947 under East India Company and Crown. Under the East India Company and under the Crown. So under the East India Company, the development from 1773 to 1858, from the Crown, under the Crown from 1958 to 1947. And why? This is Sepoy Mutiny 1857. Remember, the drastic development or change what we see A transition from East Indian Company rule to Crown rule happened due to Sepoy Mutiny in 1857. After that, the British Crown take over the rule of the governance of India and come out with Government of India Act 1958. So Government of India 1958. After that 19 sorry so 1858, 1909, 1919, 1935, 1947, East India Company Regulating Act, Quit India Act, Charter Act. So that we discuss. So what development happened under East Indian Company? The Regulating Act. Listen, we will remember only those important points, not garbage. So I will tell you what are the important. Yes, Regulating Act. What is Regulating Act? Just remember 4 point under Regulating Act. This is Peats India Act, 4 point. This is Charter Act, 4 point. The most important one are actually in mains. What we found in prelim, you might get a question between this East India Company rule, but mostly in mains, what we find question 1858 Act, 1909, 1919, 1935. These four are very important, and one or other will come. So that we will discuss. Our main focus is this, that crown rule, under crown rule 1858 to 1947, how the development of Indian constitution happened. And what we discuss many time in public administration, we get a question, Indian constitution is from past and present development. Yes, the process of constitution has started from 1973 itself in India, and this is continuing till now with amendment and new amendment. New feature are added, some feature are deleted, and this will be a continued process. But yes, it started from regulating at 1773. So the journey of Indian constitution has started in 1773 and is continued. Okay, so tomorrow we will meet 2 p.m. and we will discuss the development, the historical development 1773 to 1805 under East India Company and 1858 to 1947 under the Crown Rule. Okay, and in this way we will go, we will complete everything in minute, in detail. Okay, so good day everyone. Meet you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Any doubt, if anyone have, please ask. Okay.